Hello everyone, I am Sai Pritham. Today let's discuss about the topic virtualization. So today we will be describing the virtualization in the subparts like what is virtualization, structure of the computer system, types of operating system, how virtualization works, background of the evolution of virtualization, virtualization techniques, components of virtualization, types of virtualization, and we will be looking about hypervisor, types of hypervisors, advantages of virtualization, and resources where we find these virtual box and virtual machines in the internet. And at last, I will be showing the demo. So let's move forward. So what is virtualization means? So we have to describe the virtualization in order to describe the hypervisors. So today we have the computers with tons of processors which using the power components, using the electricity. We can have many power components which are using the in the system, which they termed as hardware parts. These are the computing power being which is used in the systems. Are they using in the efficient mode? So the answer is no. So we introduce the topic of virtualization. So it allows the computer to do job of multiple computers. Like if we have one computer, it allows to make the job of multiple computers. So virtualization environments let one computer host multiple operating systems at the same time. We'll be looking this one by one in the after knowing the hypervisors. Virtualization technology is a process of creating a virtual platform with the aid of virtualization software. We use the software for the virtualization to provide the system to virtual. Virtual means like it's a fake, but it acts as real. So we will be terming that as virtualization. So the softwares which are required for the virtualizations we term as hypervisors. We will be looking at hypervisors in the forward. The softwares which acts as layers between the primary system and the secondary system. We we call them as virtual systems. It allows the virtual systems which are using the primary system such as uh, RAM, ROM, storage, CPU, network, etc. Many things we will be having in the hardware part, which makes which makes them as virtual. So here in this image, we can see that USB controller, floppy disk, mouse, keyboard, HBS, NICs, processors, RAMs, graphic card, etc. These all are in the hardware part. So we can make them as virtual by using the virtualization techniques. So this is the main virtualization layer in which it separates the main components of the OS into the virtual machine OS. So many virtual machines can be created in the host. We can create many as we want to uh, as we want. How many we can make that one as a host as a virtual machines in the host computer. So what is the virtualization? This is a representation diagram of that virtualization in which we have the Oracle, SQL, application servers, email, file, print, in which uh, all these terms and all these uh, the techniques are being implemented in this one power multiple power virtual machine. We will be calling them as VMware, VMbox, etc. So this is a normal computer system. We'll be having the hardware part and operating system part and applications part will be having normally in the computers. So when we use the virtualization, we will be having the many applications, many OSs, like in the shown diagram, we have the many applications and many OS which will be connected by the hypervisor. So we will be using the hypervisor to connect the applications and OSs for the system. So let's move into the types of OS. We are mainly classified into two OS: host, host OS and guest OS. Host OS is nothing but the operating system actually running on the hardware itself. Like I have a Windows 10 in my system, like it's running in the hardware. So my host OS is a Windows 10. So guest operating system is which we include in the virtual box or VM virtual machine, which we include the OS in that operating system are called as guest operating system. So how virtualization works? Virtualization transforms the hardware into software. It is a creation of fully functional virtual computer that can run on its own applications and the operating systems. So it creates the virtual elements of the CPU, RAM, and hard disk. So mainly it creates the virtual elements, like we have the CPU, RAM, hard disk in the main OS. So it creates the virtual elements of CPU, which asks for the CPU to borrow into the virtual elements. Like I have suppose I have 10 GB of memory, so I can ask the memory, like I can ask 5 GB of memory from the main, like in this example, they are assuming as 10. So we can ask some 5 GB from this 10 GB memory to the virtualization OS, virtual OS. That virtual OS is called, that virtual OS elements are called as virtual elements. So background and the evolution of the virtualization. First, it was implemented by IBM. Uh, it has been taken more than 30 years. It improved in the 1990s for the multitasking purposes and to allow the mainframes. And virtualization arrived from the 1960s itself, and it is used to partition the large mainframe hardware. So this is the x86 virtualization initially. So we'll be having the applications in the top layer and the operating system in the bottom layer. And below the operating systems, we have the virtualization layer. This is the x86 architecture in which the first virtualization was invented. So let's move on to the types of virtualization. Coming to the types of virtualization, we have many types, but mainly I have classified into 4 types, like server virtualization, desktop virtualization, network virtualization, storage virtualization, and we can have that CPU virtualization, memory virtualization also. But I have classified into 4 types. So coming to the server and hardware virtualization. The hardware virtualization is nothing but creating a completely new system on the existing primary system via virtualization that acts as a real computer within a OS. It's termed as a virtual machine. Like I'm using the Windows 10 in my main in my real computer. So I want a Ubuntu or a Linux in my virtual machine. So these types of hardware is known as hardware virtualization. For example, creating a virtual machine via means of hypervisor or virtual machine manager with Ubuntu Linux operating system on a computer which is already running on the OS. In this example, I have Windows 10. So I wanted to add the OS as Ubuntu or Linux in my virtual machine or virtual box or any hypervisor. Hypervisor is nothing but which acts as an intermediary between the hardware and the virtual OS. So that is a hypervisor. Let's move on to the desktop virtualization. And basically it enables to remote the access of data from anywhere in the world to any device. Like I have a computer nearby me, so I have the phone with me, so I can access the data from the phone to computer. These are the desktop virtualization. For example, we have the many apps like AnyDesk, uh, etc. Like that, we have many apps, so we can access the computer from the phone when we are uh, providing the remote address to the any of the device which we have. So it it mainly have the concept of desktop virtualization, so that it can be accessible to any of the uh, device from anywhere. So this is a desktop virtualization. Example is AnyDesk, which I have mentioned. So in this example, we have the virtual desktop cloud. So it can be accessible to laptops, PCs, and tablets or smartphones. Next one, coming to network virtualization. Network virtualization is nothing but virtual pooling and managing all the available network resources such as IP, switches, routers, NICs, VLANs, etc. Basically, I have Windows 10 in my computer. It is having the IP. It is connected to router, switch, etc. So we can make the running like virtual OS as like I have the virtual OS as Ubuntu. So I can make that as a network virtualized. So by connecting the IP switches, routers, which will be divided into virtual, virtually to the OS. So we can make the network virtualization also. So coming to storage OS, storage virtualization, mainly I have uh, before I mentioned that 10 GB of memory is allocated to 5 GB to the virtual OS. So we can make the storage also we can make partition to the virtual OS. Like I have a storage of 1 TB, so we can make 50 GB to the virtual OS, which will be also commonly used in the storage area networks, which will be calling as SANs. So we can make the storage virtualized also. Coming to the hypervisors, what are hypervisors? Hypervisors is also known as virtual machine monitor. It is a process that creates and runs the virtual machine. It allows some parts of uh, multiple OS to share a single host and its device. The hypervisors manage requests by the virtual machines to access the hardware resources like RAM, CPU, storage, etc. Previously, I mentioned like I have a Windows 10 in my computer. So using the hypervisors only, we can make the virtual OS. What are hypervisors? It's a basically virtual machine monitor, which can access the uh, hardware resources like RAM, CPU, memory to and allocate to the and somewhat allocate to the virtual OS. So these will be done by the hypervisors itself. We have classified the hypervisors into two types: the type 1 hypervisor or uh, native hypervisor, we can call it bare metal hypervisor also, and type 2 hypervisor, we can call it as hosted hypervisor. Coming to the type 1 hypervisor, type 1 hypervisor is installed directly on the bare metal hardware. It does not require any additional OS. It is the OS, even it is light or minimal OS. Like I have the Windows 10 in my computer, so I can remove the Windows 10 and I can make the virtual. I can make it as a total virtual. Like it is directly connected to the hardware, but it do not connected to the operating system of my computer. Since the operating system of my computer has been removed, so we can make that we can connect to the hardware to the hypervisor, which will be calling as type 1 hypervisor. System will be thin. The hypervisor has direct access to the hardware. So if I want if examples of the hypervisor type 1 hypervisors are Xen, Microsoft Hyper-V. Suppose I'm installing the Xen in my computer, so I can remove the Windows 10 which is existing now. So and I can insert the Xen into the main computer, like it is connected to hardware, but it is totally virtual. Like that, it is like bare metal on the hardware. So it's called as bare metal hypervisor also. And this is a example, like this is a diagram shown in the shown for the type 1 hypervisor. There are many OSs for the hypervisor. As we know that many OSs can be inserted in the hypervisor, but in this the hardware is directly connected to the hypervisor without any OS, without any main OS. The hypervisor is connected directly to the hardware, and in that hypervisor we are using many operating systems. So this is the types of type 1 hypervisor. And coming to the type 2 hypervisor, as I was explaining previously, I have a Windows 10 and I have to add the Ubuntu and Kali Linux or etc. to my computer. So we can use hypervisor which can add on the host. They are the guest, like they are the guest OS. Uh, Suppose uh, I wanted to add a Kali Linux to my computer, so I can install the hypervisor like VirtualBox or VMware. In that, I can make an OS like Kali Linux or Ubuntu, etc. So it acts like a guest operating system. Uh, this Type 2 hypervisor provides a virtualization service which make it supports for the uh, for many operating systems uh, it will be on the guest and guest on the host. It will be basically like guest on the host. So we can have an example of hypervisors as VirtualBox and virtual VMware workstation. This is a diagram of type 2 hypervisor. This in this The hardware is connected to OS. Basically in the type 1 hypervisor, the hardware is directly connected to the hypervisor. But in this type 2, the operating system is connected to hardware, and this operating system is connected to hypervisor, which can be accessible by many OS. Like we can have many OS in the hypervisor, but the difference is the hardware is connected to the OS. In the type 1, hardware is connected to the hypervisor directly. So coming to the virtualization techniques, we have mainly three virtualization techniques. They are para virtualization, full virtualization, OS level virtualization. Para virtualization. The para virtualization approach is a little different. Unlike the full virtualization technique, the guest service in the para virtualization systems are aware of one another. Like we have the OS Windows 10 in my computer. It is a para virtualized. Since it is not fully virtualized, like uh, my computer is not connected to hardware, so it's not a fully virtualized. So somewhat it's virtualized in the hypervisor. So it is named as para virtualized. A para virtualization hypervisor does not need as much as processing power to manage the guest operating system. Yes, we don't require that much process for the para virtualization for the guest operating system. Full virtualization. Full virtualization is like type 1 hypervisor, which can be directly connected to the hardware. So it's the mainly it directly connected to the physical components of CPU and displays, ROM, etc. And it's also a platform for the virtualization servers operating systems. So what are the main differences between the full and para virtualization is in the full virtualization, the type 1 native or the bare metal hypervisor. But whereas in the para virtualization, it's a type 2 or hosted hypervisor. In the full virtualization, it directly runs on the host hardware. But whereas in the para virtualization, hypervisor installed over the host OS. In the full virtualization, there will be no base OS. So stability, it depends upon the guest OS. Where the guest OS is a Windows 10 or a Kali Linux, it depends upon the stability. Uh, but whereas in the para virtualization, stability depends upon the host OS. If host OS need to reboot, coming to the fully virtualization, the guest OS is unaware that it is in the virtual environment. In the para virtualization, guest OS is aware about about the virtualization. In the full virtualization, guest OS is need not to, we should not modify that one. So whereas in the para virtualization, we can modify anything in the guest OS, but whereas in the full virtualization, it should be fixed in the uh, it should be fixed in the guest OS also, because the host and guest are the same. The virtual uh, full virtualization, OS level virtualization is nothing but which has no hypervisor at all. Uh, Suppose I have a Windows 10, I don't have any VMware VM box, and I don't have any hypervisor in my computer. Then they are called as OS level virtualization. While buying a new computer, they will be providing the OS level virtualization only. They will not attach any hypervisor to your computer. So that is an example of OS level virtualization. And this is a comparison or architecture comparison of full virtualization, para virtualization, and hardware assisted. In this full virtualization, VM is connected to guest OS, and the user apps user apps can be accessible by the host computer system hardware. In the para virtualization, the virtualization layer will be uh, connected to the para virtualized guest OS, so we can use the apps in the guest OS from the host computer. Like I have apps in the uh, guest OS in para virtualization. I can use the apps in the host OS also. That is the main advantage of para virtualization. But whereas in the full virtualization, we can use, because since it has a single OS, we cannot insert many OSs in the full virtualization. So we can easily access the apps from the guest OS and the host OS of the software. And coming to the advantages of the virtualization, it is useful for the manageability. It basically, if we want to move a file or copy a file from the guest OS to host OS, we can do that, and we can isolate the virtual machines also. This is the main advantages of virtualization. And sustainability, the energy savings by the way of less hardware and electricity. It provides a less consume of electricity and less hardware, since much of the hardware and electricity is wasting. So uh, before the virtualization technique. So it is mainly useful for sustainability, and the availability is also very much in the virtualization machine. And the security also, it is well secured in the isolation of VMs and applications. Uh, no one can hack and no one can do anything if we use the virtual machine. Uh, so these are the references for the virtual boxes which have uh, which we can be installed in the open source software. So I will be showing the demo for this virtualization, and this is a virtual box. I am using the Oracle VM Virtual Box Manager, in which the I have the I have three OS. One is Ubuntu, second one is Ubuntu, third one is Kali Linux, and uh, I have the main Windows 10 operating system. So I am using the hypervisor as Oracle VM VirtualBox, in which I am using the uh, Ubuntu and the Kali Linux. So I have when we on them, this is a Ubuntu. This is a Ubuntu OS, which can be used in the virtualization. Which this is a virtual OS basically. This is a Ubuntu OS we can use and we can work out. And this is a and and this is a Kali Linux virtual OS. We can access many of the softwares and many of the apps, and we can do anything from the virtual machines, and we can do many things from the virtual OS, and we can move the files from virtual OS to the host OS, or the guest OS to the host OS. These is a concept of virtualization. So at last, these are the references. Still loading. These are the references for the VirtualBox or the virtual VMware. These are the references we can directly download from the internet. So it's open source software. So we can download the hypervisors for the safety purposes. And but the one disadvantage is for the virtualization is your system will become slow when you have more OS in your hypervisors. Since it utilizes the CPU, it utilizes some part of the CPU processor, it utilizes some part of RAM, some part of ROM, etc. Uh, it mainly slows down your computer. That's the main disadvantages of virtualization. And thank you.